Welcome back to Steve's Project Car Garage. My name is Steve, and this is my garage. Today we'll be working on my 1969 Spitfire tanker. If you're new to the channel and you haven't followed along, this is an older car that I'm doing a full restoration on. It's summer, and I've taken a little bit of a break over the last couple of weeks working on the car, as I had done before, just because it's so stinking hot. I actually found a morning to come on out here and try to work on the car, so fingers crossed it won't be as bad as it is out in the evenings here. I've got a couple of things that we're going to work on though. We're going to work on the wheel well because I want to be able to get the panels that I've created earlier welded in, but I need to get the wheel well solid first before I can go ahead and do that. So I'll show you what I'll be working with. I've got a couple of small areas of rot that we need to cut out and then go ahead and weld in some replacement metal. So as you can see here, things are a little bit different from the way they were last time. First of all, disregard the rust there. I was playing around with some prep etch trying to clean this up, but I didn't get it fully dry, and it just kind of caused some surface rust, so not a big deal. We'll hit that again, but look how nicely this panel fits in. It fits way nicer than it did before, so I'm really happy about that. This is just about ready to get welded in. But first, I cut this out. This was all rotted, so I need to get a new little piece put in here. But you can see there's a hole here, some holes here, and down here. So this is what I'm going to primarily focus on right now, is try to get some of that cut out, see if I can weld in a couple of little repair panels, and try to get that all better. And then once I get that done, then I can come in, finish with prep etch, get this all cleaned up, throw some paint on it, and then weld in the repair panel. Ta-da! Alright, so here's what we're looking at. So we've got a hole here, we've got a couple holes here, and up here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but the metal doesn't feel that thin actually down here along the bottom. So what I may try to do is just make a little patch right here. And same for up here, although this is a bit thin. But even if I just put in a small patch here, I think it'll be fine. And then here's the same deal. One other thing that's driving me nuts too is this. You guys remember that? Yeah. So what I think I might do is finally just say goodbye to it, cut it off, and let it rip. So let's get cracking. All right, well, welcome back. I am a complete and total yutz, and I totally did not hit record on any of that. So, quick recap on where we're at then. I used the wire wheel to go ahead and clear all this out. And then I went ahead and I cut out and I marked out what it is that I wanted to repair. I know it's kind of after the fact, but I made a paper template for this. And now I've got a nice new piece of metal I need to do a little more cleaning up on, but for the most part, we're there. I'm going to go ahead and weld this guy in. And I will make sure to hit record next time. So yeah, that's fun. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've got a template here that I'm going to make. It's just some cardboard. And I've already cut it down to size of really kind of what it is that I want to make. And so I'm just going to put this bad boy here, and I'm going to hold it nice and tight, and I'm going to trace it. It won't be exact. I'll have to make some adjustments, that's for sure. But now, I should be able to cut this out, and then I theoretically should be able to lay it in there, and if I can lay it in there, then I should be able to transfer that to metal and make a patch. Alright, welcome to my cluttered workbench. Clear some of this up. As you can see, I even have the old template that Chris and I made forever ago. I find that it's good to hold on to these templates just in case you ever have to come back and revisit. It's a lot of work to make those templates. So this is the old piece. This is going to be the new piece. Of course, we'll have to give it a bend, but that's pretty easy. It's a very simple bend there. But yeah. Alright, so we got our scissors. And now you always want to cut on the outside of your marker line, because typically that marker line is going to be just about the thickness of your cutting disc. So really, that is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's about as much metal as your cutting disc takes. So you want to make sure you're not making your template too small. Alright, let's go fit this up to the car. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Trying to match that curve is gonna be a little difficult, but that actually looks pretty decent. It's a little on the short side. You can see I have a bit of a gap over here, which is more than I want. But that's okay, because we can take that into account when we go ahead and transfer this. And again, I'm going to be tracing on the outside, so this actually might be a pretty darn accurate patch. Let's put it on the metal. Hey, look at that. All right. Now what you didn't see last time, because, well, I was an idiot and didn't hit record, is that I used some tin snips to cut this. So that's what we're going to do here. And for those of you wondering what kind of metal I'm using, this is some metal that my friend Chris gave me. And it mics out to be 18 gauge. Well, mics out to be 18 gauge, so there you go. Alright, so I have that initial cut. Now this is the section I wanted to make sure was a little bit thicker. So I will make sure to definitely cut towards the outside of that line. Cutting this 18 gauge metal is definitely good on the grip strength, that's for sure. Okay. Now I do have the cutting wheel over there. I could definitely use that to make it easier, but I don't feel that's as precise. Because when I cut with that thing, I can't really draw on the lines so much. Alright, well, see, I'm not happy with that. That's definitely going to be a bit of a piece, but let's go fit it up. Yeah, you can already see it's just way too big. So, I think what I'll do here is I'll take the grinder, and I can grind that down nicely. I should be able to get it close to the lines. So, let's do that. Alright, so we got this new piece created. It actually seems to fit pretty well. So now what we need to try to do is match the curve. And so I'm just going to honestly push this in, see if I can try to somehow match it. Somehow. definitely got some more to go. No question about that. Unlike the paper, the metal is not as easy to bend. So put that in. Yeah, see, that's still got a decent bend over here. The metal appears to be too long by, gosh, almost a 1/4 inch. We'll keep on bending. See if it just needs more in the curves. But I mean, if you look at that, curve-wise, it's not all that far off. Interesting. Well, let's take some more metal off because it looks like it's hanging up in a few places. I can also compare it to the bit that I pulled out. That might actually be a decent idea because I still have it and it's in one piece. Let's take a look. Alright, so this is what I cut out. And this is what I'm trying to put in. Yeah, that's a big difference. It's a huge difference. Wow. So really, I need to continue my curve. Just a bit more there. Oh, I'm confused. Maybe it just is too long. I'll have to just nip this off a little bit in the end. I'll have to keep fiddling with it. Alright, welcome back. So after about 30 minutes of just back and forth cutting and grinding and cutting and grinding, finally have a piece that actually kind of fits. Look at this. Well, I'll be damned. I actually did something. So, there's still a little more bending maybe I could do, but honestly, it's pretty stinking close. When I look here, yeah, there's just maybe a little bit more that I could get, but I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. There we go. See, I would be happy with that. And then what I can do is I can start over here. I can tack this in. Then I should be able to just make it all kind of bend as I need it to go. Now, this is going to be all hidden. I mean, you're not going to see any of this because the tire is going to cover it up and whatnot. But, I mean, I guess over here you may end up seeing some of it. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be just fine. I'm happy. Alright, so I've gone ahead and fired up the welder, as you can hear. Got my ground. Got this little patch panel here first. And so I'm going to put in a few tacks, get the magnet out of there, and then we'll weld it in. Alright, so I mean, I'm not all that disappointed with it. It's not the best, but my welding is definitely improving. If you take a look here, ignore this. That's a mess. We'll not talk about that. So if you take a look at it, my welding's actually really improving, right? Yeah. But no, seriously, I mean, I'm pretty happy. I had some areas where I did blow through, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because some of this metal, again, is a bit older, and I was applying a lot of heat. But it actually came together pretty nicely. Of course, we'll hit this with a grinder and come back to it after it cools down a little bit. But I think in the meantime, what I may do is now start looking into this section. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. I've got this placed in here. I'm looking at it, and I do have a pretty big gap here. I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do about that. But I'm gonna throw a few tacks in here and there, move the magnet out of there, and put it in place. Well, it's not perfect, but it doesn't suck. It's a lot better than it was before. Through my grinding, though, I revealed that I have another spot right up here that is going to require some attention. That stinks. I might be able to fill that with some weld. I'll give it a shot, but it looks pretty thin. So, with that, I think I'm done for the day. Let's get cleaned up. All right, well, that's going to do it for today. I got a lot done. I got way more than I actually really I thought I would, so I'm super stoked about that. So I got those areas welded up. That means I'm that much closer to being able to weld in the new metal that I've been shaping. So I'm pretty stoked. I have some more cleanup in there, and I'll hit it with a quick coat of some primer just to make sure it's nice and clean. But that's it. We'll move on to the next step. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button. Click the bell to go and get those post notifications. And outside of that, I thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Cheers.